How lovely to be with you all again for our story time once more. This is the last but one of our stories of people we read about in the Old Testament of our Bible. And the story today is about a boy who lived in a temple. Now the temple was the special place where the Jewish people went to worship God. Now I'm going to pretend to be the person in the story today. So when I put the scarf on, I'll be speaking as the person in the story. Be speaking with their voice. And when I take it off, I'll be Pat again. So, are we ready? Here we go. Hello, my name is Samuel. I have lived here in the temple at a place called Shiloh since I was a little boy. My mother was so grateful to God when I was born that she kept a promise she had made to let me live here in the temple to help the priest Eli as he was getting old and not able to see very well. I had to help him with the jobs in the temple, and there were lots of jobs to do. He really needed my help. But one night, something very strange happened. I thought I was fast asleep when I heard a voice calling, "Samuel, Samuel." Jumped up and I ran as fast as I could. I thought Eli was in trouble and needed my help. So I went in, said, "Eli, what's wrong?" And Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go and lie down again." I was used to doing just exactly what Eli told me, so that was what I did. No sooner had I lain down again than I heard the voice once again saying, "Samuel, Samuel." So once again I went running back to Eli. Once again Eli's reply was, "Go back and lie down." Oh dear, what was happening? Then, would you believe, once again, as soon as I'd laid down, the same voice called me. This time, I guessed who it was that might be calling me. Eli guessed. I didn't guess. I still didn't know. But Eli guessed. And Eli said, "Next time you hear that voice, you say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.' Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." Eli knew, but I hadn't known. It was God who was speaking to me, not Eli. Sure enough, I lay down, and it happened just as Eli said. For the third time I heard my name, "Samuel, Samuel." But this time I did not run to Eli. I replied to the voice just as Eli had told me. "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." I knew that it was God who was speaking to me. And God was speaking to me because he had a message for me to pass on to Eli. But it wasn't an easy message. I was a bit worried. God said that I was to tell Eli that he, God, was not very pleased that Eli had not stopped his grown-up sons from behaving really, really badly and disobeying God's laws, and the sons would have to be punished. Oh dear, that was a hard message. I was afraid of what Eli might say when I delivered the message, but he accepted what I said because Eli was a very holy man who loved God, and he knew that that message was from God. After that, I carried on working in the temple, but I never forgot what happened that night. Listening to what God wanted me to do and delivering that message was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. But it did teach me something. It taught me to listen to whatever I knew God wanted me to do and to be brave enough to do it. Here we are. Now I'm me again. Well, God might have a message for you one day, or might have a message for me. I think God has had messages for me in my lifetime. But I can't say I've ever actually heard God's voice. And we may never actually hear God's voice, but we can still get a message from God. It might be through what someone else says to us, or it might be through what we read or hear read from our Bibles, or it might just be that feeling really, really, really deep down inside of us that just won't go away, and we just know that this is what's the right thing to do and what God wants us to do. And however hard that thing is, just like Samuel's message was really, really hard, God will always help us when we're doing the right thing. Hope we can remember that story. If we really, really feel deep down inside us this is the right thing to do, we can ask God to help us to be brave enough to do it. So, till our next story time in a couple of weeks, stay safe everybody, and God bless. Bye for now.